Oh, I thought you were going to pull that down. That would be kind of freaky. You're pulling the hat
Yeah,
down. There you go. How long can he take it?
Well, this is
just for the intro.
You got to figure for the Lord Humongous video, we wore the mask, so nobody knows who we are. You know what I mean? Everyone thinks we're one of the mask bands now.
Yeah, you want to do that? Yeah, why not? Yeah, what the hell? Hey guys, it's Ryan from AMS here. We're in Westbury, Long Island for the Experience Hendrix Tour. We had a chance to sit down with Zakk Wylde and talk about all the things he's got in the pipeline. Pantera, Zakk Sabbath, Ozzy, and of course playing here for Jimi. We hope you enjoy it. I don't have to tell you who I'm sitting down with here today, but we're in Westbury, Long Island for St. Hendrix.
Yes, that is correct.
And Zachary Wylde took the time to sit and talk to us, which is very kind of you, by the way.
I gotta let's make this snappy though. I gotta get my rouge to match my fishnets and my stilettos.
We'll get you into makeup real quick. No worries.
Let's get moving here.
Yes, sir. Well, you're a busy guy.
Yes, I have a lot of outstanding bar tabs from the early berserking years in Black Label. We're like Norm from Cheers.
Exactly.
It's just silly. It's a lot. It's a little expensive.
You don't think you're ever going to slow down?
No, it's just because I'm just trying to put a dent in that bar tab from the early Black Label years. It's pretty brutal.
I'll bet. I thought Ozzy took care of that. Maybe not.
I've already blown through all my Ozzy money. Yeah.
Well, all right. So we're talking. We got Zakk Sabbath and Black Label and Pantera and Hendrix Experience and the last Ozzy show. When do you have time for like the kids?
That's why they call me Uncle Frank now. You know. So and you know, Barb will be like, "Oh, Andy, John, Tommy." I go, "Barb, it's me, Zakk," and she's like, "Whatever, just keep going." You know. So, hey, listen, as long as they're smiling, that's all that matters.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
Like the girls, they don't like to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
There you go.
Why start now?
Exactly.
So when they bring you into this, though, how do you know what you're going to end up doing? Do they just say, "We want you to do Purple Haze and we want you to," or is it just like show up and I'll do what you tell me?
Well, usually it's just they'll say, "Zakk, you know the space in between the songs on the record?" I go, "Yeah, that silent part, it separates the songs, from like Wind Cries Mary, then it goes into Purple Haze, and then it goes into Hey Joe. Yeah, that space in between." They go, "Yeah, can you play that?"
Could you do it?
I say, "Yeah, no problem." So they just leave me in the dressing room and I don't come out.
I would pay money to see you stand silent for 5 seconds.
No, I just come out there and I wave and then I leave and I go, "Well, that's what they want me to play."
Hey, that's not a bad gig.
It's a spot before the record starts and when it actually ends. That's the song they asked me to play.
All right. So
I'm fine with that.
So you just come up and you do whatever. You're just doing your thing.
Yes. No, but it's whatever songs are, that nobody's doing on that run.
Okay.
Because we were out for this one. I guess they obviously the tour had started. I did the last tour, but on this run, John and Janie asked, like, "Zakk, can you do the one when we're going back out again in March or whatever?" And I was just like, yeah. Let me just check and see where I'm, whether I'm out with Pantera,
right?
The Zakk Sabbath thing, whether I'm out with our wedding band doing or playing
some polkas.
Yeah, or performing at circumcisions or whatever it is we're doing. If I'm free, then without a doubt, I'd love to, because I love being around here. So it's awesome.
And could you imagine a world without Hendrix? I mean, can you think about like how indelibly we are still talking about him 52 years after he died? And
well, I mean, it's aside of the amazing guitar skills and his chops and all that stuff. It's, what we always talk about with all our favorite artists. It's the songs.
Mm-hmm.
It always comes down to the songs.
That's true.
Yeah. No matter whether it's Jimmy or Jimmy Page or Eric Clapton, or you got Jeff Beck or Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads, Dimebag. I mean, all the guys we're talking about, the legendary guitar, it's aside of their great, technical abilities, it's songs.
Well, and that's something that I think a lot of people, we talk about Zakk as the guitar player, but you are a songwriter. I mean, you really know how to craft a song.
Well, it just goes to show you how payola still works to this day.
It's not a bad thing.
Just follow the money.
I've heard that before. So what are we using?
That's why my girlfriend is still around. Yeah, just follow the money. I borrow from friends.
Like with today, to make today happen, Greg's like, I'm just going to call Barbara Ann. She'll make it happen. Don't call Zakk.
That. You spot me a 20, $10 here and there, and I just
we're passing a hat around off camera.
And it seems to impress her. She's been around for almost 40 years now.
Has it been that long?
40 years, yeah.
Holy cow.
But that's the reason why I just keep her drinking and keep her chained up in the basement of the house. But, so she's been around for 40 years. I don't think because she wants to be, but needless to say, at least I'm happy.
That's all that matters. So what are we using? Are you using a Gorgon or a Warhammer? What do you use for Hendrix?
Well, I'm using the Warhammers right now because I got the whammy bar on there, so I can always have fun with that. But yeah, I'm using the Warhammers on this one right now.
All right, and the typical Wild Audio backline, or are we using a Marshall? What are we using?
I got the Marshall JCM 800s.
If it ain't broke,
got it, kid. They're like a pair of Levi's and a Fruit of the Loom T-shirt. It never goes out of style.
Fair enough. You never get tempted to come out here and go, I'm going to strap on a Strat and plug in and beat Jimmy for a minute? Or you ever think like that would be kind of cool?
Mind you, I do. I mean, one of my first Strats I've had was a Fernandez. What was it? What's it called? Burgundy Mist.
Ooh.
A Burgundy Mist, Fernandez Strat. I still have it.
Do you?
Yes, I do. That's why I always tell all the youngsters out there, always hold on to your first guitars.
Right.
Because then, I'm just saying, because you have so many memories attached to that, and that's where you did the majority of your learning on.
I still have mine.
But it just brings back great memories, and then every time I pick it up, or, in my first, my Pelham Blue SG, or, any of those, they just bring back, because you have something connected to those guitars, your childhood guitars, without a doubt.
And the last time we spoke, you were saying, look, my guitars are good. They're good for what I need them to do. They're a tool. They do it. They make them right. I use it for whatever it is. It seems like you're not tempted to go, look, I'm not going to play a Dean for Pantera. I'm not going to play a Strat for Jimmy. I'm going to use what I have, and it just works.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's just, if I was a Strat guy, I'd be playing a Strat, what I mean, or a Telly guy or whatever. But I mean, I love all guitars. So
yeah, in the studio, I would imagine you bust out different stuff for.
No, I have all my guitars, but no, in the studio most of the time, I use all my Wild Audio guitars.
Really?
Yeah. If we're going to do a clean part, I'll still use the Wild Audios. You know what I mean? I could just either roll it back or use the neck pickup or use both pickups. You know what I mean? And just turn it down and clean it up or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they do everything.
So between now and July with the last Ozzy show, what do you got planned?
Well, going back, seeing the kids so they can call me Uncle Frank again. And then, Barb calling me several different guys' names. And then it'll be off to the Ozzy cake. I guess with Pantera, and then I guess we'll be playing in the afternoon. And then I'm either playing with the boss, and then we all watch Sabbath. Mm-hmm. And it should be an insane day because, I mean, you figure you got all the bands that are on that lineup and everyone's going to be paying tribute to Sabbath. So it should be a great day. I
think it's amazing. And from what I've been reading, that Tom Morello's putting together quite a cool house band, too, with like Jake E. Lee and a bunch of other guys are going to be playing.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And everybody paying tribute to Sabbath. So,
right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when
that would be an amazing keg party to go to. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine? It's unbelievable.
That's what it pretty much is. It's just we're a little bit older and there's more people at the keg party.
So let me ask you this, and I know it's probably not going to happen. What if someone, in some way, Sharon said, Ozzy's up for it, he's going to do another tour? Would you be in line like whatever the boss says?
Yeah, of course. They're like my parents. You know what I mean? So, I love them. So whatever they want to do.
All right.
If I clean up the dog run before they have company over, I go do it. I bring milk and eggs over, I do it.
Well, not eggs, man. They're too expensive these days. But
no. Eggs are good. You got to have the protein, bro.
Oh, fair enough.
The protein.
And then as far as your stuff, Black Label or Zakk Sabbath, anything coming out later in the year?
Like you said, you got Lord Humongous and, what we all, like we were just talking about, we have the masks on and everything like that. And people were like, you guys are like, what are you, like trying to be Slipknot? I go, no, we are the we're the not B, C, we're more like the D, E, F version of Slipknot, and that's why we're called Slap Nuts. But no, we did the Lord Humongous video, and then we did the Gallows, and actually, I'm actually enjoying this process of doing the album this way, where you instead of usually you do the album, it's all done, then you make 2 videos or whatever, and then you put them out, and then it's kind of run its course, or maybe 3 videos. But now I think we're just going to keep pumping out videos and doing singles and things like that until we're ready to tour in 2026 or whatever.
Got it.
But yeah, because everything right now is dedicated to, is the Pantera celebration.
Got it.
So we're doing that. And then in the spots that are in between there, we do, we're having a blast with the Zakk Sabbath stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sometime in 2026, then it's time for the Black Label wedding band circumcision, bachelorette party band, so we'll throw that one in the high gear.
So, and then with the cathedral at the house, I mean, you could probably, if you come up with an idea, you're pretty fully formed right there, right?
Yes,
like
with the Black Vatican over there. Yes, I just, no, it's great. I mean, I'm not in there, like when you'd hear either with St. Jimmy over there or Prince, where they're just they live in there and they're recording songs all the time. I mean, there was a time when we would do a record, it's just like, there's an implosion of ideas. You write them, like you wrote Jaws, and then you're done. And then when you get some other ideas and it's time to write another book, then you come up with this other thing called The Exorcist, you know what I mean? And then it's an implosion of ideas, and then you're done. Right. You know what I mean? So, but this thing, I mean, like even with the Gallows and Lord Humongous, it was just kind of like I was jamming on them in my weight room on my amp, and then I was like, oh, this is a cool riff. I like this thing, and then just put a melody to it, and then the guys came out and recorded it.
And just let it rip.
Yeah, and then we just recorded it just then. So it wasn't like it's been sitting around for a while.
So there's no plan for a vacation anytime soon?
No. Well, the vacation is going home.
Yeah.
That is the vacation.
Yeah.
So, what I mean? Yeah, for me. I mean, mind you, I love being on the road. So I love playing every night. To me, I never go, man, I want to go home. I love doing this. Is the reason why you have posters of all the guys up on the wall and everything like that when you're a kid. I still got them up on my wall. In the Vatican, there's still all posters of all the guys I love. Except then now there's just duct tape hanging them and they're in frames. I've kind of stepped it up a notch.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I hope you have fun tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure if JD was here, he'd be miserable watching it. I can say he's going to have fun. He would probably throw up a couple times, but I'd be having fun watching him throw up.
I do miss him. You guys are always funny together.
No, we do.
We love that guy.
Maybe you do, but I don't.
No, you don't?
I am so happy to be out here doing this and not Zakk Sabbath at Black Label. But that's the reason why I made him the godfather of Sabatini. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks, dude.
Always great talking.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Zakk. I want to give a huge shout out to our friend Zakk Wylde for taking the time to sit and talk to us today. We also want to give a little shout out to Wylde Audio and, of course, our friends at Marshall Amplification for making this happen. If you want to check out all the Wylde Audio gear and Marshall gear, be sure to check us out at AmericanMusical.com.